Hey, welcome to another Flare Court Media Tech video. On today's video, I thought I would show you how you can make your very own Google Street View images. Now, Google Street View is a part of Google Maps. It has its own little sub app as well, but basically it's what happens when you zoom into ground level and you can see the buildings or the roads so you know what to expect when you get there. And you can actually help fill in some of those spots on the map, as well as use it to log your own journey using a variety of 360 cameras. And on today's episode, I'm going to show you how to do that using a GoPro Fusion camera. You can also do it with an Insta360 camera and a Theta V camera, I believe. But in this episode, we're going to focus solely on the GoPro Fusion. If you'd be interested in seeing the Insta360 tutorial, let me know in the comments below and maybe I'll throw one of those together. All right, so the first thing we have to do is figure out where we want to actually record the Street View at. So the best way to do that is to fire up Google Maps, come down here and grab the little yellow person. And you can see all the places that Google Street View has been recorded on. There, these blue lines. You can see right here near Branched Oak Lake State Recreation Area that this section hasn't been recorded. And so if I try to drop it here, nothing happens. And if I come back here and try to, if I drop it right here on the edge of that, you can see this arrow doesn't let me go straight. So I'm going to come and record this little section right here. So I noticed that the Street View footage that was already there from when the Google car came through was a couple years old. So I'm actually going to start at the beginning of the peninsula and just re-record the whole thing. So I'll upload some of what's already there and then I'll add on the section that doesn't have anything. So I've got the GoPro Fusion up there on the Uber Nerd pole. You don't have to put it up on a pole. The first time I actually tried this, I was out by the Oregon Trail trying to find the tracks and I couldn't find the entrance because there's no Google Street Maps to show me where it was at. So I actually recorded with my arm out the window holding the camera to record a street view so other people can find it easier. But I highly recommend watching that video if you're interested in history at all. I really like the way it turned out. My drone crashes into the water. We go see the Oregon Trail tracks, Chimney Rock, and you can click that link right up there after this video is done. Okay. Sorry about the glare. What you're going to want to do is connect to your GoPro Fusion. I find it easier just to use the app rather than the on-camera settings. So we'll connect to that. Verify your settings. You need to make sure that you have GPS turned on. Right there. Make sure that's on. And then you're going to want to be on video and record at your highest resolution, 5.2K. And 30 frames per second is the minimum. Just leave Pro Tune off. We're not going to worry about that. And that's all you need to do. So now all we have to do is start recording and start driving. Now I recommend sticking to about 20 miles per hour. I haven't tried going a whole lot faster, but 20 miles per hour just seems like a nice, easy pace. And that way the intervals and the GPS and everything has a chance just to work accurately, because things can go wrong later on if the file has issues. Let's just say that. So nice, easy pace. All right, so we're just going to hit record. Doesn't matter where it's pointing because it's 360 camera, and start driving. It doesn't matter how fast you're going because the program we're going to run it through actually uses the GPS. It doesn't use speed, so it's just going to record wherever it was at this point, and then X number of feet later it'll record again at the next point. So you could get there in 60 miles per hour. It won't matter to the program. It's just that there's a bigger chance that the GPS will glitch out. Another tip is to record shorter segments. Now they advertise this as being able to log like a trip, so like you're hiking and you want to record your journey and upload the whole thing. It can be done, but one, there's a chance that there's going to be a glitch. I once tried to record a 30-minute bike ride, but that may have been due to the GPS issue I mentioned earlier, because I took a roundabout really fast and the whole camera glitched out in the video, and so that may have screwed up the GPS coordinates. But anyway, it could not read any GPS from that file. And so there I was out an entire 30-minute video when if I had recorded in like 3 10-minute segments, I would have only been out 10 minutes. So keep your clips short for possibility of something getting screwed up, and also keep it short because, as you know, rendering out GoPro footage, GoPro Fusion footage, takes a lot of processing power, even on 6-core computers. And this process actually requires you to render it out twice. Once is the GoPro Fusion Studio render out, where it stitches the footage together, and then the software we're going to use renders it out a second time into the format that Google Street Maps needs. And so that 30-minute bike ride would have taken about 10 hours to finish on my 6-core processor. All right, we're just finishing up this little needle eye hole, and we've made a full loop of the peninsula. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. All right, well, we're back in the editing room, and this is the part where I tell you that every single shot that you just watched me do, including some that weren't on screen, every single one had corrupted GPS. Despite my suggestions I just gave you, every shot I brought back and plugged in, no GPS data. So everything was worthless, but I went back out 3 days later with my laptop to try and troubleshoot it so I could give you proper steps on how not to have corrupted GPS. And this time, 9 shots out of 10 ended up working just fine. The one that had corrupted data, I don't know what happened that time that was different than the others. So what I did was I'd record a section of the street, and then I'd bring my camera down, plug it into the laptop, copy it over to the laptop, render out just about a little 15-second clip to check to make sure that the GPS was working on it. And then, like I said, it worked just fine. So I tried all different variables trying to figure out what was wrong. I tried connected to a phone. I tried not connected to a phone. I tried turning the GPS on and off. I tried turning it on quickly. Nothing I did ever produced the same result each time. I said only one time did it fail. When I tried the exact same circumstances, it worked fine. So unfortunately, I don't have a definitive answer to guarantee that you're not going to have corrupted GPS. So take this tutorial with a grain of salt, in that don't trust this to be your only record of a GPS adventure. Some things, outside of our control happen. During that test, I did try out some other things though. I did try driving up to about 40 miles per hour, and it seemed to be just fine. That was doing the video mode. I also tried out video time-lapse mode using half-a-second intervals. And that's actually the mode I'm going to recommend going forward, is using the every half a second take a shot and make a video time-lapse, because that video is so much easier to render than 30 frames per second video. Smaller file sizes, quicker to stitch together, and every half a second, again, if you're not driving more than like 30 miles per hour, you're still going to get a picture close enough on the Google Street View that it will look fine when you click through it. But other than that, don't drive with too many G-forces, because the stitching could get thrown off, like going around in a loop. And then one of the big things I think may have been a contributor is turning the camera on and give it about a minute to get GPS lock. Also, don't turn the GPS on your phone. You can toggle GPS on and off. I may have done that trying to make sure, hey, let's just make sure it's on. Doing that, I think, might also cause issues, but just like anything, GPS takes a little bit of time to get its lock. And so if I started recording too quickly before it ever had a chance to figure out where it was in this world, that could have caused an issue. So turn it on, leave it on for about a minute before you start recording, and that might give you better results as well. But I do have usable footage on here, so continuing on, I'll show you the rest of the steps on how to get your videos up on Google Street View. All right, so the first thing you do is go ahead and plug your camera into your computer. You're going to need the latest version of GoPro Studio, later than 1.3 in order to do this. So go ahead and pull up GoPro Fusion Studio now that the camera is plugged in, and it's going to go searching for your files. Now I've already gone through and processed all of these, but I'll walk you through the steps right now. So it takes a second while it's reading it from the cards. So here you can see the one where I did the full video, 57 seconds, and and if we render that out, these are the settings you're going to want to use to get the best looking video results. You don't really need to change the audio because it's not used. I just leave it on the default 360 audio, but you definitely want to use the 5K and editing profiles. That's going to end up being 3.3 gigabytes, which is quite big. But if we come back to this one where I did the time-lapse at half a second interval, it's only 490 megabytes. So a lot quicker to render, a lot quicker turnaround, a lot smaller file sizes to work with. But yeah, so just go ahead and you pick the clip that you want. And so you do want to do a little editing. You just want the part of the video where you're actually moving and driving. So I'm going to come here and move my pointer out of the spot, out of the way. And I'm just going to drag this forward until I'm on the road right there. So that's where my video is going to start. And then you want to come back here, and again, you don't want that in the Google Street part, so you just move it to just right before you stop. And then come here. I like to give just a little bit more sharpness. I find adding about 147 is pretty good. I give it just a little more contrast as well, just to punch up the picture just a bit. Otherwise, then you just add that to your render queue and go ahead and click render all. And this is going to take quite a while because it copies it from your two SD cards over that USB-C connection, copies it to your computer. You can see this one I've already copied. After it finishes copying, then it starts stitching the video together. And this can take 2 to 3 hours depending on how long your section is. That 30-minute video I tried to do once took, I think, 10 hours to render out. So we can actually look here at iStat menu, and you can see. So we can actually look right here. It fortunately does use a GPU codec, so it really puts a lot of pressure on the GPU, which is good because GPUs render faster. It uses the Cineform codecs. So if you have a nice graphics card, it will stitch together faster. You can see my CPU is not being used that much at all, but the graphics card is. However, it can still take quite a long time. This is just a little minute 33-second video, and it's only 5% done. Anyway, I'm going to cancel this because, like I said, I've already done this part, so we'll close out there. And then when it's done, it's going to put all of those into a rendered folder. And if we open with GoPro VR Player, you can see what our final output looks like. Okay, so now what you need next is an app called Trailblazer. And that is by Panoskin, I believe. Trailblazer, yes. And they actually worked with GoPro and with Google Street View to make this app. It's free. They say you can use your GoPro Fusion, publish fresh content, which I'll show you in a second. You're contributing to Google because, Google needs more free contributions. I mean, that's the whole reason you're doing this, is just because you like to help fill in the maps. But I think Google has enough money that they don't need more free contributions. But anyway, update old scenes. It seems like the same thing as publish fresh content, but okay. Join leaderboard. I haven't quite figured that out. Hassle-free. It's not hassle-free. There's quite a few bugs, as I explained, recording some stuff and it doesn't end up working. But it is what it is, so let's go ahead and just download for the Mac. I already have this, so we'll just skip this part. And that's going to prompt you to create an account. It's free to make, so go ahead and create your account. When you start out, you're going to have 000. I would expect this to be growing as I add more stuff to land, but what do I know? So let's go over those settings in the Trailblazer app real fast. This is what it defaults to: automatically install updates, blur license plates, and blur faces. You want to leave that turned on. And then if you come down to advanced settings, you can choose how much processing power you give to it. Auto's fine for me. Frame rate, this is where you're going to want to leave it on auto. And then visually lossless is going to give you the best quality. Yeah, it's going to take longer, but it's going to be worth it. And then codexes, you can do H.264 is what it recommends. It's going to give you a smaller file size, easier to upload. But if you want to try the Cineform, again, that's the GPU accelerated codecs that GoPro uses. You can give that a try. I haven't used it, but if you try it, let me know how it goes for you. Okay, so that's where we land at, is the dashboard. So then you come and click Create, and we are on land, driving around here. And this time it was a drive, but yeah, you can do hikes, bikes, climbs, rollerblades, skateboard, snowboard, ski, or other. And yep, here are the two options, video or time-lapse video. This one that we're going to, let's see here, let's find a time-lapse video. All right, so there you can see the time-lapse video, quite a lot faster. So we're going to use this one, 154, and we're going to do a time-lapse video. And so here's the part where you find out if your GPS is ruined or not. Which sucks is you have to stitch it in GoPro Fusion before you can check to see if the GPS is okay. So if you narrow your video down to just 5 seconds or something and render that out, you can just check on those 5 seconds, because if it's corrupt for the whole thing. And so if you can get 5 seconds out of it, then you're good for the whole video. So drag that over there. It's going to actually give you the GPS drive that you did. So this is what we're looking for. If it doesn't, and it says corruption or something, no GPS data associated with it, you're out of luck. I don't know of a way to recover the GPS. So this is what we're looking for. Gives you a chance to verify that you are indeed uploading the part you wanted to. And so then you click the looks good, publish Google Street View. And it's going to start rendering it out. I don't want to do this, so I'm going to cancel this if I can, because I've already uploaded this one out and want to upload it again. So then it's going to give you a chance to view what you just did. It's going to start uploading it to Google. And 154 here, we can see this one. And it's going to start processing it. You can give it labels and stuff like that for your own reference, or when you share it out to someone else, they can see the label. But it's going to sit there and process. Now, the first time I did this, it processed within about 24 hours. This next time, I did upload quite a few videos, but it on the Panoscan website, it says it can take up to 2 weeks for Google to process it. And I'm just about at 2 weeks from when I first uploaded these. So they're still not quite done yet. But normally, if it were done, you could see actually the Google Street View right here in this window. And so here's one I did for the Oregon Trail. If we come here, you can see the section I did and the Google Street View right in there. If I able to navigate it just as if I was on Google Street View. And if you do share, it copies the link to the clipboard, and you can see here. All right, but let's go take a look at the section that we just recorded. If we come out here to Branch Oak Lake, so if we come down here and grab this little person and drag him over, you can see that it's starting to fill in all these lines. Now when it first starts processing the video, it's going to put individual dots around there. And here's a screen grab from when it started out processing my video the first time. And it's going to start connecting those lines as it starts to build out the map. So you can see right now that it's pretty close to done because there's not any individual dots anymore. So I'm not quite sure what's taking so long, but I expect it to be done fairly shortly. So if I drop the little person there, you can see that my video that I uploaded is a part of Google Street Maps now, Google Street View. You can see it was uploaded by me June 2019, and it works just like any other Google Street Map. We'll actually stop right here. The software does ask you if you want to blur license plates and blur faces. And so if we look at this person, it actually may have been a bad video to begin with, but it will try and blur their faces as well as the license plate. So if I drop the person up here, then I can show you the other thing about updating old Google Street View images. So we'll give it a chance to load here for a second. So here's mine, and up here you can see now that there's a timeline. And so we're looking at mine 2019, but the last time, the only time Google actually drove by here themselves was in 2016. So if we click on that, you can see the actual Google Street car. They actually are able to blur out the whole car, but not their shadow. Anyway, so 3 years ago they drove by, but now we've updated it with a current image in a different season even. And so that's one way that you can help update old stuff. New houses are being built, so you want to change that, or there's new businesses in an area and Google hasn't driven by in 2 years, and so the businesses are outdated. This is where you can step in and help improve the maps. One other section, we'll just go back to this section right here. And sometimes it varies. Like this time it decided to use theirs, but we can come up here and select our most recent one. And we can actually see the sign in mine, whereas in Google's, they thought it was a license plate. Give it a second to load. And blurred out some of the wording. Another thing you can do is download the Google Streets app. And that's going to be your place where you can go and check what you've uploaded yourself. So if I zoom in here and go to my profile, you can see some of the places where I've uploaded my Google Street images, my 360 images, and way up here by this Branch Oak Lake, you can see it's recognizing the stuff that I've uploaded. And so we can come in here and view some of that. So there's one section that's being processed. And so the app is going to be your place for managing what you've uploaded. And if we zoom way out, you can see the other one that is finished processing. Right out here by the Oregon Trail. And that's also going to be the place where you can go and delete the videos. You can delete it using this Trailblazer app if you uploaded it with the Trailblazer. If you click delete, it says, make sure you want to delete this tour. It will be removed from Google Maps. So if you upload something by accident that you didn't want to, you do have a chance to delete it. However, you have to wait for it to finish processing before it can be deleted. So it could be up to 2 weeks that people could see whatever you put on there before you're allowed to delete it. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. What do you think about this process? Is it too complicated, or are you going to give it a try? If you do give it a try, let me know how it goes in the comments section down below. And if you have any tips or tricks that you'd like to share with the community, write those down there as well. If you'd like to see that tutorial using an Insta360 to get things up on Google Street View as well, let me know also down in the comments. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps other people find the video. And then go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the other tech videos or travel vlogs or camping adventure type videos I do. But until next time, I'm doing what I love. Keep doing what you love. Thanks for watching.